Hello beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. So on today's video I'm going to be giving you a detailed tutorial on how to make this beautiful dress on our thumbnail. And without further ado, let's go straight to the video. Please guys, do well to like, share and subscribe. All right, thank you. Hello guys, so let us go right into the pattern drafting. So these are our lines that is already drawn out. This is the shoulder line. Then over here we have our chest line. So how I got this chest line was the bust. I divided it by 6 plus 1.5 gave me my chest line. Then I added my slope. So I did 1 point. I think my measurement gave me 8.5. Then I added 1.5 for my front slope. So I added the front slope because I will still minus it. So this is it. Then here is our nipple point. This is the under bust. This is the nipple point, this is the under bust, and this is our waistline. So this waistline, I came down. Her initial waistline is 18 inches. With what we can see, you can see that this our client is quite busty, but she's not a really plus size. She's just busty, though not plus size, but quite busty. So that's why her bust is 42, but on a big, like she's not big, but the bust is really full, if you understand what I mean. So what I did is that I came down. Her initial waist is 18, but then I added 1.5 to the waist. Reason being that I wanted to give more room for the breast, and secondly I like that waist drop effect. I don't, because if I'm to cut this entirely on the waistline, by the time she wears it, the breast will literally drag up, and it will now, instead of it sitting on the waistline, it will be hanging up. If you know, at least for my people that sew well, you people should know what I'm talking about, especially when you're dealing with people with a fuller bust. So I came down 1.5 inches from her original waist because, like I said, I want to have like a drop waist effect. What I'll normally do is, because this is a full gown that we are making, so what I would do is on the waist, on the skirt pattern, I will just minus about 1 inch from my skirt. Like when I'm about to draft my skirt pattern, I will minus 1 inch. So by the time I join this, it will still balance. All right, so let's just get right into the pattern. So I've explained this. What I did was I divided her shoulder. Her shoulder is 18 inches. Like I said, the lady is not on the plus side, but she has a broad shoulder and a fuller bust. So I divided her shoulder by 2, which gave me 9, which I've marked here. So for the neck, this thing I will just do 3.5. I wanted to use 3, but let me use 3.5. Then I'll just do 3.5 by 3.5. You can still do 3 by 3 if you're working with someone with, a more smaller bust size. Please use, please use 3 by 3. But because her bust is fuller, I'm doing 3.5. Although, please note that to cut the style that we are cutting, our pattern is on a fold. Okay, you have to cut it on a fold because it's an asymmetric neckline. So I'll come over here and I will take the 1.5 inch slope, shoulder slope for the front. So with that, now you see we now have back our 8.5, which is the initial chest line. So I will also come on this chest line and I will mark the same 9 inches on the shoulder, just so I can get a straight line. I hope you're seeing what I'm doing. So you can either come up here 3.5, or you can just divide this by 2, any which works for you. So you see that the difference is not really much. So I will just use the division of by 2. I will come in here by half of an inch. You can still use 0.75, but we are doing a princess bustier. But before we get to our princess bustier, I like to first contour the armhole with the shoulder dart. So in case I didn't mention, this design we're about to do is not really beginner friendly. Like, you have to already know what you're doing, because it's really not beginner friendly. So this is really not for beginners. Yeah, so then I will now put the bust measurement on this waistline, which her bust, which is 42. If you divide it by 4, that's 10.5. But I like to add extra ½ inch for ease, so I'll be marking 11 inches. So now what I like to do, I'll just connect this to that ½ inch that we came in, and then either you use this kind of a straight just from here to the tip. So let's blend this very well so that everything will be blended. So I hope you're all seeing it clearly. So now that we have gotten the armhole, we'll now have to start marking our dart line. So her nipple to nipple is that's her bust span, which is nipple to nipple is 10 inches. So I'm come here and mark 5. I'm marking 5 at the waist. I'm marking 5 at the under bust, and I'm also marking 5 at the the nipple point. I hope we can all see what I'm doing. So I just marked it. So this is actually the chest line, but this is what we have now. So we have to create a dart bustier, especially princess bustier, any type of bustier for people with fuller bust. You can use from 2 inch to 2.5 inches. So I'll be using 2.5 inches for her. 2.5 inches, but I will not share it equally. I'm going to use 1 inch here at the the front, the center front, while the side front I'll be using 1.5 inches. The reason why we do this is that we need to create a fuller cup, where the distance is going to sit. So I'll just curve here. Watch how I'm using my curve. It has to meet here, and this curve has to meet here. We'll just draw it down, like drawing this line to this line, and we'll be doing same thing here. So I'll come to the shoulder, just follow it step by step. I'll come to this our shoulder, and I will divide whatever we have here. I'll just divide it into 2 equal parts using my tape. I'll just mark that, then I'll connect it to here. Please, we are using princess bustier for this design, but like I said earlier, I always like to tighten my armhole from here, so that by the time I finish doing my princess bustier, it will not be too tight, and it will not be having that gaping this thing. So I will just, normally there are 2 ways we can do this, but I'm going to be using the more easier version. I don't want to use too much calculation for you guys, so it doesn't get too confusing. But let's just go out by 1 inch. You understand? From this line, I went inward by 1 inches, and I'm going to connect that line all the way to the nipple point. So now this being here, let's now complete our body. So the waist, her waist that we're working with is 35. So if we divide 35 by 4, it will give us, I think, 8.75. So we'll first mark our 8.75. Then you have to measure your dart, which should be 2.5. Then you add your 2.5 from this dart. I don't like adding ease on the waist, but is normally is Ankara you're working with. So sometimes I still advise my client to add, my students to add ease, because by the time you iron your hair stay, Ankara is cotton, and sometimes cotton can react to heat. It might shrink, and most of them are not 100% cotton, depending on the grade of Ankara you're using. If you're using 100% cotton, fine, but if not, because of the mixture of polyester, it might shrink. So like I always tell my students, excess can always be removed, so it won't be a problem having excess. So like I said, 8.75, which we've marked here, plus you add back your dart, and then you're going to add 1.5 plus for your seam allowance. You understand? So when you're joining the sides, you can decide to join with just 1 inch, leaving the ½ inch as is. But like I said, I really don't like adding ease to the waist, because the waist is supposed to cinch and give us some shape. Where I like to add ease is at the bust part. So with that being said, we have to mark, because our back is not straight. Although 2 inches is not standard for bust dart, the back is not straight. We have to mark out the difference between the length front and back. Like I said, 2 inches is not standard, but I just like to use 2 inches. So this is me just adding my bust dart. So what I'm going to do now is I will just trim here to the nipple point, and just follow what I'm doing. This line, not this one, but this initial first line, what I'm doing this so that I want to, don't trim it all the way, I want to close my bust dart. That's why I'm doing this. But before I do that, let's close our shoulder dart. So this is me. I'll close it. This thing is on a fold of 2. So let me just show you how you will close. You have to make sure that it's meeting this line, because it's this line that you're trying to close. All right. So let's close it here. If you have paper gum, I would advise you use paper gum. But yeah, the sellotape still works. The reason why I say paper gum is so that you will not be having many things in front distracting you. But yeah, so I'm going to, because with this thing we need it on a full, so I'm going to do the other side and then come and tell us what to do next, because I don't want this video to be too long. So after you've closed here, you will come at the tip of this shoulder and you will come out by 1 inch. That's that same 1 inches that you used. That's that same 1 inch that you took off here. You will come out by the tip of the shoulder and you go out by 1 inch. Then you come up, just follow this step, it's not complicated. Then you come up at this your starting line and do 1.5. So don't let it confuse you, don't worry, we will balance it. Then from here, so this now becomes our new armhole. Let me clean off the one we are not using so that it will not be too confusing. Anything you don't understand, you can ask your question or just rewatch the video. Then what I like to do is because if you remember, before we closed off those darts we took out some measurement from here, but it's not always much. But what I like to do is I like to come out by half of an inch. I just like to come out by half of an inch. So this will now become our new armhole. And I like to merge it down here. You can also here we've already added half of an inch. You can still decide, measure it again. You see, I think it's giving us 10.25, but I want ease on the bust. So instead of 10.5, which is our bust distance, I will still be adding up to make it 11. So this now is our new armhole. So now we no longer need this armhole. We'll no longer need this armhole at all. So time for us to do our armhole princess dart. Let me close. It's our bust dart. So this is me just closing off the bust dart. Let's take it from here to here. I hope you understand what I'm doing. I just want to close off that bust dart, because obviously we won't be needing it. I'll just tip it off. Please, if you have questions, ask your questions. So now that this is taped off, and I want to get my armhole princess dart, because the style we are doing is an armhole princess dart. With the armhole princess dart, you can decide to put it anywhere. Me, I like to work with the mid armhole, or you can still do that 3.5 by the time you come up 3.5. And watch how I place it, just from that nipple point. Don't make it super curvy, just do something that can be easily managed to come and meet us here. And this will become our armhole princess dart. What I like to do is, because I like to measure everything. So this is my armhole. The armhole I'm looking for is between 8.5 to 9 inches. I will measure the armhole, and you see here we have 10 inch on the armhole, which means there is an excess of 1 inch. So let's just remove that excess. From here we'll come up by 1 inch or 0.75. I'm just trying to remove the excess. That's my own preference, so because I don't see the point of having, I don't like that gap. I don't like having that gap on my armholes. So I like the armhole to just be naturally well fitted. So this now is a dart we are taking off, and obviously we have to, because by the time you join these two things together, watch, are you seeing that it's no longer equal? So what I like to do is I just like to come out by 1 inch. As you can see, come out by 1 inch and just blend it back into this your armhole. It's nothing too complicated. Please don't get confused. And with that done, this now becomes our new armhole. So this now is our princess bustier armhole, but remember we've not joined the sides. So from here, my bust 11 inches plus 1.5, that will give us 12.5. The 1.5 is our joining allowance. So just join it from here all the way to your waist. Remember that the waist we've added our sewing allowance. So this now is all the allowances that we'll be needing. So now we've drawn our princess bustier. Please, here is going out. This is our dart that is going out. Here for this my bust part, I don't like it being pointy. I don't like that pointy effect. So what I like to do is I just like to take out, even if it's as little as 0.25, just to curve it. So this is also out. And you might say, doesn't it reduce the allowance? No, it doesn't. If you still measure this, you will see that you still have your allowance complete. Like if you should measure all of this, you see that you will have your allowance complete. It doesn't do anything to your allowance. So this now is our princess bustier armhole. I'm going to cut this, then we will now go over to cutting. Please note that this is just a basic princess bustier armhole. So now we've not done the asymmetric neckline style, being the reason why we put this on the fold. So we will do that once I finish cutting out this, and I will show you what it looks like, then tell you the next stage. So we have, cut it. We have our patterns. I hope my camera frame, wait, let me tilt it this way. So you see we have our full front. This is the center front, this is the side. So we are doing it symmetric, so we are imagining that this is the right side of the ankara, like this is the right side of the pattern that will be facing us. So what I like to do, although this would be better if you had a second hand to help you, but what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to join it as if I'm sewing it. So I will do this off camera, and I'll be back to show you guys what it looks like. This is what we have. So this is what we have, and as you can see, I just taped it. I like to do mine like this because you will be very sure. You see how everything is aligning. I hope it's showing properly. So now it's now time for us to do that neckline, design. So we'll just take it bit by bit. So here being the nipple point, I'm using marker this time around. I'll just come up because I don't want her boobs to be out. She wants to still use it for office wear and all that. I know that neckline is quite low. So what I will do is from the nipple point, I will just or from her chest line, I can decide to just go up 1.5 inches. And I just marked it. That's from her chest line. This now is her chest line. So just from her chest line, I went up 1.5 inches. Then from this part of the neckline, this one is going to be our left. This side is going to be our left, while this side is going to be our right. So from here, I will go in on the shoulder line, because from that design, you will see that the shoulder is also in a symmetric kind of, but this side, I will use 1.5 on this side. Or I think I don't want it to be too inward. Okay, yeah, I think 1.5 is okay. I'll come down by 2.5. Just follow what I'm doing, please. Don't get confused, because then from this 2.5 now, I will have to curve it, this part, because if you look at that distance, you will see that it's following like the other princess, like it's going on this way. Let's just say we'll curve like this. I hope you're seeing what I'm doing. I'm supposed to please use pencil to draft your own first. So we'll curve in like this. Then from here, I will use, for this side, I will just use 0.75 on this neckline, because I'm trying to create something that will go like this. I'm trying to like curve it out, you know. It will go down, you know, curve out to here. Here curves out. Here curves out all the way to here. Yep, I think I'm happy with this. Let's use this. I'm happy with this. Yeah, I'm happy with this neckline. So you're seeing, I hope it's showing. I'm happy with this because with what I'm seeing, the boobs are not exposed, and everything is okay. This is okay. She can still wear it for office, you know, so that she will not be looking so much. So yeah, so this is what I'm going to use. I like this neckline. Like I said, if you're doing yours, please use pencil first. I think you are happy with what you got. But yeah, I think I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. So I'm going to cut. I will show you how to cut since. So I'll cut this. So you see now we are entering this other part. That's why I said you should tape it. That's why I said that you should tape it, so that you're sure of everything. Then I'll cut this out here. So this now is the neckline, and if you look at the thumbnail, this is looking like what we did. So for this one, if separating it will be a problem, just, you know, cut it with scissors. It's just you getting that midpoint. Just cut it with scissors. Everything will still relax fine. So this is it. We've gotten here. Let me indicate the neutral line, the underwash. So I'll do the same thing on this side, and I will show you. Hopefully you're seeing everything well. I don't want to tear it, so hence why I'm just trimming it, because I might want to pull this thing now, the tape, and tear it. I don't want that to happen. Yeah, but this is it. This is what we have, you know, looking all scrum and scrumptious. Yeah, but this is it, and this was what we cut out. So believe it or not, this is all for the front. The only thing we will be needing this pattern for is to cut our, you know, breast pad for wadding. That's for the lining part, because I like to use wadding for the lining. So yeah, this is it. We also, you know, do this, and then for the center one, but this is our front. Please note that you have to indicate it to right side of the fabric. You understand? This is the right side, this is center, and this is the left. You get? But just make sure that you indicate it. Everything will be well indicated, so that you don't make mistake. You know, it's an asymmetric neck. Anyway, I'll still show you how I placed it on the fabric though to cut. So this is our front, and we will go over to the back. The back is, I don't think there is nothing really much about the back except the shoulder. because you see that this shoulder is not as wide as this shoulder, so you also have to indicate that changes at the back. So we'll go over to the back drafting, but this is the front, and yeah, so let us go over to the back.